Hey, this is Genevieve Stafford, and today's video is all around how your marriage contract can impact you purchasing your next property. So I am no lawyer, so a quick disclaimer, it is sharing from what I had researched when my husband and I had gotten married, and also some of my students have come through this and said to me, but I am married in this particular manner. How do I move forward in investing in property? So this is really what I want to highlight throughout this video today. So if you stay till the end of the video, you will learn how your marriage contract currently impacts where you are in terms of purchasing property. So there are 3 marriage contracts. The first marriage contract is community of property. We all know community of property. Like I have not met anybody as yet that does not know community of property. And here's a quick generalization that I know impacts many of us. Society dictates that if you are married in community of property, you are married the right way and you are married for the long haul. And when you accumulate together for the long haul. Well, community of property basically says, when we get married, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. So it's like we put everything into one bucket. However, what is not highlighted is that anything that you do thereafter requires your spouse's signature. Now I want to say, yes, it's important to have the communication in the house. It is absolutely paramount that you share with each other your dreams and your visions and your goals and the things that you purchase. However, I feel, Genevieve's opinion, I think it's slightly selfish that I need to ask my husband for a signature at every turn in everything that I do, requiring me going to the bank, stating that I'm married in community of property, and my husband gives me consent. That is just purely my view. But the sad reality right now is that many people that are married in community of property has only found out way into marriage that their spouse is potentially in debt or blacklisted or has got some sort of debt that the spouse thought they'd be able to fix up before the other one finds out. So there's so many of those commonalities that do happen. So I want to say, some of the statements I may make are sweeping generals, but many of you know that where you currently sitting, it is not a generalization and it is a true reality. It's the harsh, sad reality, I believe, of community of property. Now there's the second contract. It's called marriage outside of community of property. For very short, it's called ANC. And there's ANC outside of community of property, meaning when we get married, what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine, and it remains that way. We are independent of each other and life will go on, and whatever decisions that you make, I'm trusting that you speak to your spouse about it. However, you don't need the consent of your spouse. Now that particular marriage contract, I kind of was like, I'm okay with it. However, I want some sort of accountability. And this is why I've opted into the third one, because the third one, I believe, has given me accountability. And it also just reminds me of my values and my principles and all of the sad manipulation that is put onto community of property. Yes, I said it. I just believe there's just too much manipulation that people put you through so that you can get married in community of property. And if you were ever in that situation, I want you right there to drop in the comments below your take on community of property. And if you are married in community of property, I want you to let me know down in the comments below, if you had a magic wand to change it, would you change it and why? But nonetheless, the third one is married out of community of property with accrual. Now, it means before we got married, obviously what's yours is yours, mine is mine. Now, when we get married, from the date of when we get married, and for the period of our marriage, whether our marriage ends in divorce or death, this this portion of our togetherness, right? I even written so that I don't get this one messed up, just so that I don't explain the death out of it. So it says, for this period of our marriage, which either ends in divorce or death, okay, your assets are accrued during the marriage, which means you share in each other's stuff, which then means you still are independent, right? So what will happen is, by the time the marriage comes to an end by death or divorce, whatever you have accumulated, you share that, the net profits, of course, of what you've done together. So for me, I believe that one really works well. And this also, I believe, works very well within purchasing of property. Both of the married out of community of properties work very well in terms of your community, in terms of your property investing journey. Because basically what that means is that if your partner gets themselves into hot soup, it does not affect you as a person, right? You can still carry the household. You can still carry the household in terms of the houses, and yes, it's on both your names and whatnot. He or she is going to work through the ish, right? But while your partner's working through the ish, at least one partner can continue with the good credit scoring going forward with in life, if that is exactly your objective. So I really just want to state today is the video is short and to the point around marriage contracts. However, I want to elaborate just a little bit more, saying, community of property is one of the saddest things I have found where people's dreams end. Whether you're going into business, the business of property, the business of any sort of business that, for that matter, I just find that the contract of marrying in community of property is so stifling that you can't sneeze if your partner is in some sort of financial issues. Now, I've got a very short story to share with you, and I did have a conversation with my friend asking her, would it be okay if I share your extraordinary story? And she was like, go for it, all guns blazing, just don't disclose my name. And I'm like, yes, I'm not going to. So some time ago, my friend got married, and I'm friends with both the guy and the girl, right? And as love would have it, they too also went through premarital counseling. And then they get to a space where they were signing for a lease agreement because they agreed from the places where they live, they're going to find a new, home ground. So that, you don't hear the story of, no, this was mine before you came. Oh, this memory here. Does anyone relate with that one, right? So they decided they're going to find a flat before they go house hunting, because they just really want to understand each other and their growing family needs when the family does grow. And long story short, they're sitting in the project management office that was handling the lease agreement for the flat. And that's when the lady found out the guy was blacklisted. Her heart kind of almost stopped, is what she said to me. She said, Jen, I sat there and I thought, so you blacklisted and you didn't get a chance to tell me that. Good going, champ. But then she said her values and her morals and the way she grew up and her spirituality and people that she was surrounded by were all so encouraging of each other that she decided, you know what, that could have been an oversight. He even looked like he was surprised that he was blacklisted. But nonetheless, property management company said, well, you guys are not married yet. So why don't you, the lady, sign for the lease agreement, because then it's just in your name. And well, they looked at each other and whatever happened transpired because, look, they rented the property, right? So there's some conversations I would not know what happened behind closed doors. So this is why I could only share with you what she shared with me, but limited because it was quite a situation. But nonetheless, fast forward. She didn't even go back to understand. So community of property, again, society says, get married in community of property because it shows that you love each other. And I want to say, for me, I believe that is the sad truth, that it is not always the case, right? Your marriage contract does not depict what you feel for your partner. I just believe we need to get savvy on some of the things that society has defined for us. I believe we need to get savvy on some of the things even our community, our spiritual community has defined for us. We need to start thinking and really just thinking outside of the box. Because the sad reality is, this very same friend of mine, fast forward when they bought property, she didn't even investigate, like, so what does community or property mean, or black listing means, because she was able to sign for the lease agreement on her own. So she figured, because she can afford, when they were looking for a property, they agreed that they will just apply in her name. But being who she is, which is how you're married and everything, she put dude's details down, right? And when the bank said, we know that you can afford it, but the fact that you're married in community of property means that you take on his debt. And then that's when it really dawned on her, I believe. I'm of the belief that that's when she was like, hey, wait a minute. It's time into marriage and time into reality. What do you mean? And fast forward the story, she was not able to get the basic flat that they were actually wanting to buy. They were not able to move forward in purchasing their first home, let alone a property investing opportunity. So I want to say to you, give consideration to some of the contracts that you get into. And over the next couple of weeks, I'll be talking about contracts such as your will. Do you have your will in order, right? Because if you don't have your will in order, a bus hits you, and then what? When you get into business, is your business partners aware of your home situation? And what does that look like, and how could it impact your business? So over the next couple of weeks, I really will be touching on contracts so that you can understand where you are, what you are pursuing, and how the contracts you get into can impact your business, whether it's a property business. And particularly, I zone in on property investing because obviously you are here real estate investing with Genevieve. So I trust that this particular video has been informative for you. The way my friend got out of her situation, she had decided to go and have a conversation with a lawyer to find how best could she change marriage contracts so that the two of them can work on life together and he can get rid of his past via means of the debt, right? So if you are one of those people sitting there thinking, what could I do? I don't even want to hypothesize or give you any sort of ideas. What I want to encourage you is go ahead, have that conversation with a lawyer and find out where you are with what you have and how your marriage contract may be impacting where you are. Find out what is the best route moving forward. And that is my best advice from you because, again, like I said, I am no lawyer, but I am a girl that knows a little bit about marriage contracts, and I am a girl that knows a little bit about property investing and business and how these things can affect where you're going. So I trust that that particular video has been informative for you. So if you haven't already, click on the subscribe button, guys. Click on the notification bell so that every time I post a video, you will be notified of my video that has just been posted. So you keep well, and I trust that this video has been informative for you.